Hey there, friends. Welcome to a very special episode of She's Got Gumption. This week, I recap my weekend at Everyday Ordinary Jesus, hosted by my friend Jackie Hooks in Buda, Texas. This was the first Everyday Ordinary Jesus event, but I can tell you, much like everyone else who was there, we know it's just the first of many. I was able to sit down with several other gals there and ask them who Everyday Ordinary Jesus was to them and what they got out of this special weekend. We end with the founder of Everyday Ordinary Jesus, Jackie Hooks, sharing with us what this weekend meant to her. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy this bonus episode of She's Got Gumption. Okay, let's start out with you telling me your name, and then you can tell me what Everyday Ordinary Jesus means to you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Deanne Pearson, and this event has been great for me. The Ordinary Jesus event, I don't even know how it came into my Facebook feed because I don't know hardly anybody here. So that's the first divine intervention, I think. And just I don't know, it feels like home here, and I think that that's kind of what is missing often when I go into a church or into a building that's dedicated to religion, is just a little bit of the stiff chairs and how to sit and all that. And I was just telling a coach that I'm mentoring yesterday, and that she was coaching me, and she was saying, well, what's something we can work on? I said, my spiritual life versus my religious life seems really at odds because I don't feel always comfortable. I grew up very different in a very conservative Christian home, and some of the rules, I just don't see them applying to my life. So it was nice to walk in here and have everybody just grab me and hug me and here's your name tag, let's fix this, let's do that. And it's been great. And there's an imperfection and acceptance here today that's been super. My mom and I were talking a few years ago. I'd found a cross at a sale, a craft sale at a church, and it said sparkle on it. And I said, wouldn't it be nice if we were all born knowing what our purpose was and that it was okay? Like if we were born with a little cross or a little star thing that had a label on it. I said, wouldn't that be great? Because I work as a coach and a counselor, and it would be great to have people understand they have a purpose, And I said, sparkle really spoke to me. And I said, if you had a label, a cross with your purpose on it, what would it be? And this was like a Friday. I was spending a 3-day weekend with her, and she said, I'll have to think about that. And, we went the whole weekend. We did the things we do, went shopping, saw family and all that. And then right before I left, she said, patience. And I looked at her and I said, what are we talking about? Because it's been 3 days. And she said, I'm a very patient person. And I was thinking, oh my gosh. It took her the whole 3 days, and I'd already forgotten the conversation, but I was thinking, wouldn't that be great if we all just knew we had a purpose, and that it's okay to be a little goofy and a little ordinary and a little too much and a little too loud or a little too quiet or whatever that is. And that's kind of how it feels today. I feel like I could be me. I could sparkle here. There's other sparklers. I think there's some patient people here who are patient with us sparkly and loud people. And I was just thinking about my mom. And that's in that moment of saying, oh, yeah, I'm so glad you're patient. You probably had to be. So, I don't know. Jackie has just made us all comfortable, happy here, and just so generous in it for. But we all have a story. We all have a purpose. Some of us sparkle, some of us shine, some of us console, and isn't that exciting?
I love that. Wouldn't it be great if we could all just embrace the personality God gave us instead of either trying to make it bigger or make it smaller to fit?
Right. Often when you get to know who you are, you can go anywhere, And I say that my gift showed up by going to the principal's office because I was always talking. But I wasn't talking to be like the center of attention. I wasn't the class clown. That was somebody else. I was always trying to help somebody, console somebody, encourage somebody, or show them how to do something. And you're really not supposed to do that when you're testing and stuff, So in a classroom. So I went to the principal's office several times before I even realized why I was there. It's like, the secretary finally explained to me, you're talking too much in class. You're not just bringing the attendance. And wouldn't it have been great if I figured that out? Because I'd be out, only helpers got to bring the attendance. But she wanted me out of the classroom so much, and while you're there, I take the attendance. So that happened. And finally, the secretary who I knew said, honey, But now I realize that, this thing where everybody told me to be quiet and sit down, they was really my gift. So I do a lot of speaking and a lot of things like that. And like all these people who paid me to shut up. And my brother used to give me a quarter in the car. Here, be quiet for a while. So he's the first person I called the first time I was paid to speak at eBay Women in Technology. I did a lunch and learn there and didn't know I was going to get paid because I would speak anywhere. And they just asked me to create a talk about so-and-so, somebody I'd worked with. And I called him and said, oh my gosh, I got paid to speak instead of to shut up.
I could do this for a living.
Exactly. And they liked me and they invited me back. And, I cannot believe that all those years you paid me to shut up and now I'm getting paid to speak. So, anyway.
I love how God works like that.
Yeah, God has a sense of humor, He really does. He'd have to, yeah. Have you ever seen a manatee? I mean, God has a sense of humor. There's just no reason that should look like that, right? So, some people's gift is community, like we were talking about this morning with Marusha, and this has definitely been a community building event. And some people are just being real. I think of not ordinary. I don't think of ordinary. I think of real.
Genuine. Yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. You're just a delight. You're fun.
Thanks, Wendy. I do sparkle.
A little. Yeah.
Yeah. It's contagious. Yeah. And so I try not to overshine anybody, but I do love life, and thanks for the time together.
Can you just tell everybody your name and who Everyday Ordinary Jesus is to you?
My name is Lydia Willingham, and I just recently, I'm 41 years old, and I just recently found out that I was pregnant, actually 2 days ago, and then found out yesterday that I'm very pregnant, that I'm due very soon. I'm already 25 weeks along, and so I had no idea. To me right now, my Everyday Ordinary Jesus is meeting me right where I am. I firmly believe that he is in the new job that I just got, even though I haven't started working there yet. I firmly believe that he is here with this baby, and that he has kept me from worrying this entire time that I've been pregnant. I would be an absolute wreck. My mom passed away in March, and so she was very sick, and there was just a lot that I've been going through, and so I think I would be a wreck by now. But today I'm able to wake up and be so excited about this baby boy and know that Jesus is right here with me.
I love that. That's beautiful. And I couldn't imagine being the age I am now. I'm only 38, but still. But what a beautiful surprise, too, of oh, hey, and you're almost done, by the way, cooking this baby. So the
words of you're already halfway through your pregnancy was like, what are you saying to me? But it's so exciting and it's so cool, and just feel the baby move. And my husband felt the baby move last night, and so we're just super excited.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. So can you tell everyone your name and who Everyday Ordinary Jesus is to you?
I'm Amy Martin, and I find Everyday Ordinary Jesus in the people who always just land in just the right time and just the right place and cheerlead or give help or give guidance right exactly when I need it the most.
Okay, can you tell everyone your name and who Everyday Ordinary Jesus is to you?
My name is Kenitha, and my Everyday Jesus is a good friend and mother, Jackie Hooks, who lives down the street.
I know her. No,
you do? I do too. Everybody knows her. She's amazing. No, she is the person that would give you the shirt off her back, care for your kids, take them anywhere, do anything for you. She is truly the person that shows Jesus in her everyday life. So she's my Everyday Jesus.
I love that. That's perfect. And she's your village.
Yes. So we have a village here in Buda, and moms have a group chat, and we check on each other's kids and who needs a ride, and it's amazing. But that's the thing. She has 4 kids, a job, and still has time to be Everyday Jesus to not just me, but everyone. So she is my village.
Like she said, it's not the, big, super fancy. It's the everyday.
It is the everyday.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Can you tell everyone your name and who Everyday Ordinary Jesus is to you?
My name is Katie, and actually the only thing I can think of is not a specific person, it's more of a thing. Like, I really find myself experiencing any relationship with Jesus through music, and it's usually when I'm driving to work or I'm picking up my kid or road trips, that kind of thing, and that's the time where I actually feel a lot of that connection.
I'm a big music person too, so I totally understand that. I listened to a song like randomly on Pandora one day while emptying the dishwasher and ended up like in tears.
Yes, exactly. Well, I actually texted my husband the other day. I was like, well, here's where I am today. I'm crying to a Jackson Browne song on the way to work, so have a great day.
Jesus is everywhere.
But it was good crying. It was good crying.
I love a good cry.
Yeah.
Can you tell everyone your name and who Everyday Ordinary Jesus is to you?
I'm Liz Robertson, and Everyday Ordinary Jesus to me is the breath that I take before I speak, the minute that I just wait before I respond. He is the peace that I allow to fill my lungs before I ever react. And without him, I would be an absolute catastrophe.
I love that. I always take a deep breath before I pray as well, because I feel like you have to center yourself before you enter the presence, right? But I don't take a second before I speak. But I love that you do, and I will practice that more. So
For everyone else's benefit, for sure.
So this weekend, you've been teaching us who Everyday Ordinary Jesus is to you. And lots of people have different versions of that. Can you kind of tell us again who Everyday Ordinary Jesus is to you and what this event means to you for women?
So for me, this event is 5 years in the making. Like, it's a huge dream and it took me a long time to realize that my passion and who I love, it's just all the ordinary people. I love all the people that sometimes feel like they don't have a voice and feel like they're not seen, and they're stuck behind dishes and laundry and mundane jobs and driving carpool, and those are the people I love the most. And as I have done this crazy journey of following Jesus, I just really started to realize that when you read the Gospels, it is just Jesus in the middle of his ordinary life that was extraordinary, yes. But he is just stepping into ordinary stories over and over and over again. The players in the Bible are not big names. We only know them because they're in the Bible. These were nobodies. These were fishermen. These were carpenters. These were ordinary people. And the only extraordinary part is that Jesus steps in and they say yes. And so for me, that is my message that I want to share with everybody all the time, which is Jesus sees you. Jesus loves you right in the middle of your ordinary life. And it's him that's going to make it extraordinary. But you may never change rank. You never may get a huge following. You may never do the whole win the lottery thing in whatever your career is. But he's going to be there. And this ordinary life that you live will become extraordinary because you just simply said yes to him. So this weekend for me was a big yes. But it's also about making sure that people know that the ordinary people of the world that can afford $25 and no more know that.
I love it. I asked one of the gals that was here who Everyday Ordinary Jesus was, and she was like, I don't want to share because mine's cliche. And I said, well, what is yours? And she was like, mine's Jackie. and I was like, I have told Jackie time and time again that she's changed my life. And so I don't think that we can tell you that enough, that you're amazing and that we're grateful for you to be in our village.
Thank you so much. I've loved every single moment of this weekend. I wouldn't have changed a thing. So thank y'all for coming. I loved it.
Thanks again for listening to the She's Got Gumption podcast. We hope you enjoyed this bonus episode and that it spoke to your heart in such a way that you remember your everyday ordinary life is extraordinary when we're walking with Jesus. You can find Jackie on social media as Jackie Hooks, the most ordinary girl in the world, or on jackiehooks.com. If you want to catch up with me in between podcast episodes, you can always find me on Instagram at Mrs. Wendy J. Olson, MRSWENDYJOLSON. I'm also doing a blog series that is the same as the podcast series we're working on right now, called Things We Can't Talk About in Church, and other subjects as well. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode on that series. My website is wendyjolson.com. Remember, it's OLSON. Thanks again for listening. We hope you're enjoying this summer series and this bonus episode as much as we are. Make sure you subscribe. And if you haven't already, we'd love it if you take a minute and leave us a review. We'd love 5 stars. Tell us what you're loving. See y'all back next week when we continue our series, Things We Can't Talk About in Church.